Alright everybody, it is back. The Lost in Space Robot B9 build. I do really have to apologize for letting this project sit on the sidelines for so long, especially to all those who sponsored the bill and sent, sponsored the build and sent money to me. It was just that over the summer it was really hot and I really can't record with the AC on, and so I pushed everything to the side, and then as it started cooling down again so I can start working, I started doing a little bit of painting, and it kind of got, well, left to the side. So I really do apologize for all that, but we are returning to the build now, and we're at the stage I hate the most, which is all the wiring. So slaving over a hot soldering iron to get this done. Get some of this crap out of here. So we're working on the brain. The brain is the hard part for the head, where all the wiring I have to do. I have no idea where I left off, so I'll probably repeat myself a few times here. We have the little eye stalk stems here, which I rebuilt out of brass rod and fiber optic into those, like so. And I have them marked right now with some black on some of them. So the black is on every other eye stalk. So 3 are going to go into a little plastic tube, and well, the other 3 will go into a different plastic tube. And those will, in the other side of the tube, will go the, come on, there we go. Some of the wiring I've been doing already. Now these are 3mm flashing LEDs, and inside of them I have a variety of resistors. To order to get them to flash at different rates, I have different resistors. I think I got a 980 in here and then 2 980s in here. And if I remembered to get my battery out, oh, there it is. Just to give you an idea how this is going to look. So there we go. So they flash at different rates. This is the ghetto version of how to make flashing LEDs. Normally you would need a circuit board and a lot of wiring knowledge that I just don't have. So I came up with this, and this is a easier way for you who don't have the electronic skills like me, can make your own flashing LEDs. So these are going to go in the eye stalks here. Now the next part is the top section. Or the eye stalks go, yeah, this goes above the eye stalks. So this is the near the tippy top of the head, and there's flashing lights in here as well. So for those, I just wired up some more. These are 3mm white flashing LEDs. I had to sand the hell out of them though in order to get them to fit. And rather than putting the resistors here like I normally do, I got the thinnest wire I can possibly find. And this is going to have to get drilled through here and through here to get the wires into the belly so I can put the battery in there, and I'll put the resistors on that side. But these will have the same function as the other yellow LEDs here to do the flashing inside the brain. The thing I don't know is, well, first of all, there's lights on top of here, 3 lights, which I'm going to go ahead and hopefully let these light those, because I have to put fiber optic into those, and I just don't have enough space. All the wires have to run through here, and this is already filled with fiber optic, so I have to limit the number of holes I drill through this piece. And I'm hoping that this light will be enough to take care of the orange lights on top, because that is clear plastic. The other question is the actual eyes that go here. I'm not sure if I'm going to light those or just paint them with a very bright reflective silver, because I really couldn't even see that the eyes glowed on the television show. It was very yellow, and it wasn't super bright and blinking or anything like that. It was just solid. So, but if I do put these in here, I have to use some very thick fiber optic, I believe, because I don't want them super strong. And putting LEDs, again, size issues. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the eyes yet. But the first thing I got to do is get this together and sealed up and painted. And then we'll move on to step number 2. Okay, wrapping up the first evening of the return to the robot and have the brain area done here. What I did was, first of all, I put down some fabric tape to act as to hopefully eliminate some of the hot spots. I probably should have spread it out a bit more, but I was planning on covering it with silver paint anyway, which I've done. And I had to thread the 2 blinking LEDs inside here. It's still a very tight fit. Actually, I haven't even tested it yet. That way. Wait, there's a key here. Ah, there we go. It barely fits in there. And, unfortunately, I should have reread the instructions before I started on this thing. I drilled a hole to run the wires through the bottom of the little brain cavity here. Without realizing it, it actually has to go down. Everything has to go down this tube. This is what connects the whole brain assembly to the body. Obviously, this tube is not going to work because it's too small and not hollow. So I have another one I made out of some aluminum rod, but all the wires have to go down through here and not here because that's going to show. So I have to get all these fiber optics and now these wires as well down this thin little tube, and they barely fit. I probably should have gone with thinner fiber optics here. I used as thick as I can get away with through these rods. I should have went thinner. Unfortunately, that means I'm not going to be able to add any more lighting or wiring into the brain just because I don't have enough room. I've seen people do it with like 3 different sets of lights in here and then different sets of lights for the 3 orange lights on tops and then lights on for the eyes. No idea how they wired all that up because it still has to all go through here. And, ooh, that's small. Hopefully, yeah, because even if I, hang on a second, if I can find a part. I haven't put everything together yet, but the rod might just, oh, you know what? Oh, I should have checked this earlier. The rod just might hold it in place and not actually be displayed, because this is a sleeve that actually goes over it. Ah. So actually, I do have a bit more room to play with. But I still don't have much room in the brain itself to run those extra wires, because it still has to go through here, and I'm really worried about if I drill into one of these fiber optics, I'm dead. I have to think about it overnight and see what we can do. Alright, here's our brainy piece, and all together, puttied up for taking care of light leaks, and painted up in Vallejo Model Air Gun Gray. And I decided not to light the eyes, mainly just because I was just too worried about trying to run more wires through this delicate piece. If I planned this out better, and perhaps if I had a bit more knowledge in lighting, I could have done it, but well, I just don't have the skill for it, unfortunately, and the space issues as well. And you know, on the show, I never knew these were lit in the first place. It's something I never even noticed. So we're just going to paint those a light color, and that should be fine, hopefully. Also, they're the only lights that don't blink on this kit, so they're solid. Hopefully make it less of an issue. But everything's painted, and I was... Where did I leave off here? I think here. I was planning on using latex to put in all the little hieroglyphic holes here to prevent the paint from going in. However, the holes are just too small, and liquid latex is such a viscous, thick material, couldn't get in the holes, so plan B, a bit cruder. I'm just scraping the paint off of inside the holes. Originally I tried a toothpick, but that was a bit too soft. Maybe some harder wood would work as well. So we're going with the hobby knife. Whoops, dang it, I just scratched the outside, shoot. But besides that little mistake I just did, this is working out pretty well. And this is almost the last step, I think, to putting this whole assembly together, because this is going to be this is what's slowing everything down, is putting the whole brain together. And I need to put all these difficult parts to assemble the top head piece. But once I get that done, things should be going a lot smoother. Putting the finishing touches on the whole head assembly so I can get that painted up and finally installed. And I got to take care of the plastic, polish it up, make sure there's no scratches on the inside before I seal it up, and of course I'll do the outside, but I'll do that later after it's together and I don't have to worry about fingerprints. Now, to polish plastic, a couple different things you can use. One thing that I normally use is toothpaste. Unfortunately, the toothpaste I currently have in my medicine cabinet is gel form, and you need regular old-fashioned toothpaste to polish plastic. You can use sandpaper as well, but you have to be really, really careful with sandpaper. Car polish, that works. Unfortunately, my car polish was all dried up, so had to rummage around for something that also works. Brasso metal polish. So just a little bit on a very soft cloth and rub it on, wipe it off. That's it, because there's a little tiny amount of abrasiveness in the cream, so that'll help you polish any minute scratches out of the plastic, as well as take care of any fingerprints. Stuff does stink a little bit, so just be cautious of that. There we go. Clean side to buff. Looking all hunky-dory. So I just gotta do this to both sides and we're about ready to seal this thing up. Okay, head is together and not much to show you right now because, well, I have to hold this in this position for about 20 minutes. The reason for that is because I'm using some silicone glue that dries clear to glue this thing together, and the reason for that is because I don't want to use super glue anywhere around the fiber optic because that will just break them. But got the whole head piece together. Let me start at the top here. The inside of the dome here, it didn't fit for some reason. I don't know what happened because everything was flush, but I couldn't get the dome on. I had to cut down the stem that this little twirly bit on top sits on. I'm not sure what went wrong there, why it didn't fit, but we got that in. Painted the eyes with a mix of gold and silver so they reflect the light pretty well. So they look something like they're lit. I decided not to use the stem inside this assembly because well, again, I would have to bend the fiber optics too much to get it to fit, and it was a real struggle. So the main purpose of this is to let the head swivel, but I don't build toys, I build static models, so I don't care if it swivels or not. So the dome here is glued directly to the rubber piece right here, and that's the reason why I got to hold it for this so long. And again, with the silicone, so I have to hold it in place. And this is a small, this stuff is not strong, but it's a small enough piece where I think it's going to hold. It should be okay in the future. But we have everything sticking out here. Once this is dry, just have to put everything through this piece and the head will be done. I can wire up everything else and start moving down to the body and really start making some progress here, because this part killed me trying to get all this done, and I didn't even get all the lighting and all the special wobbly effects that I would have liked to do, but I just don't have the skill to do them, unfortunately. But we're not looking bad, don't worry. Still a lot more to do, but at least I got one sub-assembly done, and more coming soon.